All right, so there's something I heard, and I need to verify whether it's not it's true, but we can perpetuate the rumor at the very least for now. Josh Giddey is the youngest player in NBA history with a 30-point playoff game.
I think that's right. I think that there.
How would we know for sure? We could just speculate.
Stat Muse.
All right, bro. You want to stat muse it or you want me to?
All right, let's do it. Stat Muse this shit as we're live.
Irregardless of whether or not this is true, but it sounds right, but it could be wrong, right? But 30-point playoff game or postseason game, near triple-double. Like, if he had put up that final rebound, then I guess technically it would have been a triple-double, but who cares? Like, this is an impressive feat for a player, but a player that's not necessarily known as a scorer, too, right? There's been plenty of guys who are known as scorers who weren't able to do this at this young of an age. But to come in there and to look for your shooting as a second option, right? The ability to get defenses off balance with your pass and then knock down shots when they leave you open, attack when the weak side's open, drive, get downhill, get your head down. Using the array of shots that he used, it's pretty impressive, but it's also like there's a sense that it's just like the beginning. Like, there's no sense that, like, Josh Giddey is... We've seen the best of Josh Giddey.
No, we haven't.
Not even close, right?
Not even close, no.
So, I just feel like a triple-double or near triple-double 30-point game at 20 years old, why are people still sleeping on him?
Yeah, and I am looking at it right now, and Derrick Rose was scored 36 points against Boston, 20 years old and 196 days. So I'm pretty sure Josh Giddey broke that record there. Also, when I was looking on this, it was kind of surprising. I'm just going to throw this out here, guys. There is another current Oklahoma City Thunder player on this, guys. Mark, you want to give it a guess who it is?
Shea?
Lou Dort.
Lou Dort, really?
Against Houston, bro. He is one of the top 10 youngest players to ever score 30 points in a playoff game, guys. That's pretty impressive.
I mean, that is damn impressive.
It was against Houston, just so you guys know.
Yeah, I think we remember that one now. But I forgot he was 20. He
was 21.
Oh, 21, okay.
Yeah, 21 in a few days.
Yeah, I mean, but you got some incredible things going on from Giddey. I mean, we can plainly say we've never seen anything like it. But when you add in the fact that he's, like you said, he has the best vision in the NBA, like, it's really hard to assess. I think a lot of times people are like, I don't know how to assess it, so then just back away. But that's the fun
only
part.
way to assess it, I'm glad you brought this up, because the best way of assessing Josh Giddey's vision of the court is when he's throwing the ball in bounds. I mean, it's as simple as can be, guys. Like, when, like, the game stops, right? And everybody is guarded on one-on-one, and you have an extra player that's playing defense. So there's pretty much a 5-on-4 situation. 9 out of 10 times, Josh is going to find the open man, even though he's not fucking open. How is that possible? How is it possible that Josh passes the ball so precisely that it goes like that close to fingertips? Multiple players' fingertips, not just one player's, multiple players' tips. That close. How is that possible? It's because he recognizes where players are at. He has accurate passing, and he knows what to do to get them the ball and where to lead them. I mean, think about that. If you're thinking about how to lead somebody into a pass, how to lead somebody into an open area, and you're like, oh, yeah, that's not too difficult. No, it is. I'm telling you right now, it is incredibly hard because you have to be in sync with that player. At any given time, you put Josh on an inbounds play in the game, right? It doesn't matter who it is. It's like he has this direct connect right to their brains that says, go back door. And they go back door. Or it goes, player out to an open three, and then wide open three. Like, how does he see it? It's because he knows where everybody's going. He connects to that player at that exact time that he needs to connect. And the vision is there every single time. That's how you tell Josh Giddey has the best vision in the league, because there's nobody else that does what he does on an inbounds play. And then you put him in an open court, it's easy for him, because if you can do an inbounds play, you can do it with anything.
Yeah, and his turnovers have stayed low, so that's keeping coach happy and maximizing our number of possessions. And he does use a lot of high risk passes that don't usually turn into turnovers. So it's damn impressive. But one thing that we've learned since covering Josh Giddey was about Australian rules football and the ability to pass into open space and lead players with the pass. That's something that we see happen all the time. And there's a lot that you can learn about Josh Giddey from learning about Australian rules football, from the physicality to just the style of playing in open space and leading people with a pass into open space. You see it all on display just over a much far condensed, 94-foot court. But that's what we're watching, bro. We're watching someone who's learned how to translate those skills into basketball. Yeah,
and it's just impressive. I still think our listeners, when we start talking about Josh Giddey, and I knew a little bit about Australian Football League. I've seen it once in a while. Didn't know a lot about it, but I knew that it was in essence a lot like rugby. Similar balls and not similar fields, but like an open field mindset.
Lots of tackling,
lots of physicality. But when we started talking about Josh Giddey, we had a lot of people who were like, "Hey, you guys got to go watch some AFL, some footy." And that's where Josh learned how to pass. That's where Josh learned how to take a hit like that, and finish through contact. And it led us through an insane thing, man. And now, like, every single time that I think of Josh, and I think of the first time that I got connected with, AFL, I get excited, man. And that's why I have right behind me a Cats jersey there, man. It's called a wool kilt or whatever the fuck it's called. I don't even know, guys. I'm trying. I really am. I'm really trying. But it's a wool, pretty fucking awesome. And it makes me happy because every single time I see it, I think of Josh Giddey. I think of what he's been able to accomplish in the NBA and utilizing footy and AFL as a stepping stool. And it makes me so excited because if I'm a coach, I'm going to Australia and I'm a scout. I'm going to Australia and I'm saying, I want to see the guys that play basketball and footy. I don't want to see anybody else. I want to see basketball and footy. I want to see those guys because it translates so well in the game.
And I forget who said it though. One of our commenters mentioned that, Jay Will's passing is starting to look a lot like Giddey's passing. And this idea that like these guys are teaching each other different skill sets that they've learned, where they grew up. I think that's really interesting. I think it's totally relevant. And I think it's just the beginning because that's a really important part of this game. Now, dude, go ahead. Yeah. I'll let you talk and then I'll change the subject.
Yeah. I was just going to say, it really is. It's the new game. It's an important part of the new game. If you look at Jay Will, you look at Josh, you look at Shea, look at Dort. He's passing the ball incredibly well. You look at J-Dub. He knows how to pass the ball. He can get up 8 assists easy. It doesn't matter who's coming off the bench. They can get up 4 or 5, 6 assists really easy as well. It's this new vision of I'm unselfish. Like, how many times does Shea start the passing? Like the other game, Shea would get the ball and you pass it to Jay Will. Jay Will would pass it out to the wing, or he would pass it to Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey would kick it back out to an open shot. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares who's getting the assist. Nobody's like, oh, fuck you, man. You should have taken that shot. You were wide open. Nobody's doing that. It's like, you know what? It's the system. The pass. Next, here we go.
Yeah. We've seen the other version and it doesn't look good.
It doesn't. The ISO game, bro. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
Like people are always like, oh, this is destroying the game. No, the ISO game destroyed the game. That's what destroyed the game. When it was all 1 versus 1 and who's can do this. No. When has basketball ever been an ISO game? It's a fucking team sport. Not a let's go out and see who can battle the hardest against each other. And then you got the refs. Like, everybody knows the refs were like completely horrible and cheating in the 90s. I mean, it's obvious that the NBA didn't want their star players and superstar players fouling out. And they made it very clear. They told all the refs not to call them on them. So my point is that, like, that's how corrupt that was. Now we're in a different time, different stage where we want team fucking basketball. That's what we want.
So you mentioned J-Dub. I think that's a perfect point for us to jump into our final pregame prediction for tonight's game.
Sweet.
9:30 Eastern against the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm thinking this is J-Dub's coming out party. I think J-Dub got his face broken first game he played Minnesota, first few minutes of the game. He was actually knocking down some shots and playing pretty decent, but I heard him say that was his welcome to the NBA moment. And I feel like he's about to lay one on the Timberwolves with a nice, I'm here to play.
Fucking love that, bro. I love that you picked J-Dub because he needs a big game against them, and he's getting hyped. And so if he's getting hyped, I want to see him step up because that shows to me that he knows how to step up in big games. We obviously know Josh Giddey's going to step up for the occasion. I don't think that he's going to necessarily score his 30 points that he did this last game. I do think it's going to be more condensed, but I do think that he will get close to another triple-double, if not a triple-double. But let's just be honest, guys. There's going to be one man that leads us, and that is him, the old great one, the one and only Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is on center stage, baby. He's going to dominate the game and put up a box score that's just going to impress everybody because this is the last stamp that Shai is going to have before the votes are in. And first team NBA is still up for grabs. I can guarantee you that.
I'm hearing a lot of people select him for that. I think Anthony Edwards is going to come out and try to play a game that proves he's a better player. One of the things that scares me about the Wolves is the fact that they're capable of playing really well for a singular game. They're also capable of not playing great. But, coming into the Pelicans game, we had seen two sides of the Thunder in recent weeks, and now we need our A game, and we need the Wolves to play some sort of B game. We don't need them to play it. Okay. We need to push them to play it. We need to force it.
We need to jam it down their throats so hard that they don't even know what the fuck's going on.
I feel like we can defend their best players, with either length on the wings or, creativity with Jay Will against Towns. I feel like they have trouble covering our best players. They're going to have to create some advantages for themselves in defense. I don't know that they're going to come out and try to play like the Pelicans, which is trap early, get the ball out of Shai's hands. But what do you think? How do you think the Timberwolves approach Shai?
Well, I think they're going to approach Shai by trying to use their girth to really kind of discourage him of sorts. But with that being said, I don't think there's anything to be said about that because when you put a slower person on Shai, he goes around them. When you put a taller person on Shai, he goes around them. When you double team him, he finds the open man. I mean, to me, like, I just keep on looking back and I can't say this enough. I really do think that this is going to be a game that as a team, we're going to come out and just really ramp things up. And whether it's 3 or 4 guys that score 20 or Jay Will, I'm telling you guys, Jay Will is going to be a huge difference factor in this. Even if he only plays 10, 15, 20 minutes, he's going to get a lot of charges. He's going to do a lot of great things. We got to keep an eye on these things because these guys are they're putting out all out there. And every single time we talk about this, I always want to make sure that people recognize and understand this. This team needs to be enjoyed. All right, guys? This could be the last game. I'm not saying it's going to be the last game. I hope it's not the last game, but this could be our last game this season. Our natural instinct is to get upset with things that don't go our way. It just is. But I want to encourage everybody that's going to be listening to this podcast and on live right now, like, look at this, guys, and watch the game and just enjoy what you're watching because this could be your last game of basketball for, 5-6 months, whatever it is. Just enjoy it and absorb it and recognize that this team, that this organization has put out an incredible product for us. And yes, sometimes the things are going not our way and this and that, but we're watching good referees right now. Last game, how many times did we notice the refs? I didn't notice the refs once. Maybe once I noticed. I was like, that wasn't good. But they didn't impact the game. And that's what you need refs to have. You don't want refs to impact the game. And I think that's what's so great. We had a listener, Robert, that wanted us to talk about it. And I appreciate Robert so much. He's saying some great things on there on comments. But it comes to this team. It comes to the way this team has always responded to referees. And I think because we're a playoff team now, there's a certain type of respect for us. And that game that we just played, if you disrespect the refs and you're a total asshole to the refs, the outcome is different.
Yeah.
And that's what's so impressive about this team and what we've been able to do is the respect level and the mutual respect on the refs, the players, recognizing that they're all humans and we all make mistakes. That's it, man. Like, this is next level. This is why I get excited about this team. Fucking respect, bro. It's lost so much in these days.
Yo, I mean, I know a lot of people feel like nothing to lose here for the Thunder. The Wolves are reeling. Like, all the things are starting to line up. We really could push together and get this win and move into playing the Nuggets. I know that that's a possibility, but we have to recognize that there's just as likely possibility.
All right. I want to stop there. Think about this, guys. Has there ever been a time in the history of the game that there could be an upset at the 7-2, a 6-4? I'm sorry, 6-3, right? And if the Thunder get there, the Thunder are going to give the Denver Nuggets a run for their money. Wouldn't it be crazy if the top 3 teams get knocked out in the first round? I'm not saying it's going to happen. Don't get your hopes up, guys. But if there's ever going to be a year that the top 3 teams got knocked out of the playoffs in the first round, this is the year.
There you go, guys. We not only got ahead of ourselves, we got ahead of that even, but that's the fun part. So I'm excited about the game. We appreciate you guys